Hey there, and welcome. So today we're going to tackle something that drives us all crazy, that blinding, frustrating glare. We're going to get into the really elegant physics behind it, and even better, how we can beat it. Let's get right into it. Oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're driving right after a rainstorm, the sun comes out, and boom, the road turns into a mirror that just blasts light right into your eyes. Or maybe you're trying to look into a gorgeous, clear lake, but all you can see is a reflection of the sky. It's something we all deal with, and it happens to be the perfect way to jump into some really fascinating physics. So, here's the first big surprise. That glare, it's not just a bunch of random, super bright light. No, it's actually light that's been sorted and lined up in a very specific way. You can think of it like the difference between a crowd of people just milling about versus an army marching in perfect step. That organization, that formation, that's what makes glare so intense. Okay, so how do we even begin to understand this organized light? Well, the answer is something called Brewster's law. It was figured out way back in 1815 by a Scottish physicist, Sir David Brewster, and it's the absolute key to taming glare. You know, the core idea is surprisingly simple. It turns out there's a kind of magic angle. When light hits a surface like water or glass at exactly this angle, the light that bounces off of it is completely transformed. It goes from being all messy and chaotic to perfectly, neatly ordered. Let's break that down real quick. So, step one, picture regular sunlight. It's what we call unpolarized, which just means its light waves are vibrating all over the place, up and down, left and right, every direction you can imagine. Step two, this light hits the surface of a lake at that one special angle, Brewster's angle. And then, step three, the light that reflects off the water is now almost entirely vibrating in just one direction, horizontally. And that is what we see as that intense glare. And this, right here, just nails the most important point. It's not really about how bright the sun is or even what the surface is made of. The secret sauce, the whole trick, is the geometry, that very specific angle where the light meets the surface. That changes everything. Now, if you've ever studied optics, another famous angle might be popping into your head right now. So just to keep everything straight, it's really important we make a distinction between Brewster's angle and its cousin, the critical angle. They do totally different things. It's a simple difference, but it's a vital one. Brewster's angle, our star for today, is all about what happens to the light that bounces off a surface, the reflected light. The critical angle, on the other hand, deals with light that passes through from one thing to another, like from water out into the air. It describes the point where that light basically gets trapped and reflects back inside. So yeah, two different angles, two completely different jobs. All right, so this is a really cool piece of physics, but what's it good for? I mean, what's the point? Well, this is where all that theory becomes incredibly practical and actually ends up in products that you and I use every single day. You know, understanding this law has let us engineer some pretty amazing stuff. It's in the polarized sunglasses you wear, the special filters photographers use to get those incredible shots of water without any reflections, and even in super precise components inside lasers called Brewster windows, which help create a pure polarized beam. The applications are literally everywhere. But let's zoom in on the one we all know and probably own, polarized sunglasses. They aren't just dark pieces of plastic. Not at all. They're actually sophisticated little scientific tools, and they're designed specifically to take advantage of Brewster's law. So how does it work? Well, since we know that glare is just horizontally polarized light, we can design a filter that's made to block it. And that's exactly what polarized lenses do. They've got these microscopic vertical filters that are like a bouncer at a club. They let all the normal, useful light through, but they put up a hard stop to that intense horizontal glare. And the result? You actually see the road, not the reflection. You see the fish swimming in the lake, not just the sky on top of it. So just by understanding this one simple principle, we haven't just solved a common headache. We've actually unlocked a whole new way of looking at the light that's all around us. It's really such an elegant piece of natural engineering when you think about it. In a universe that often seems to love chaos, Brewster's law shows us a simple geometric rule that creates perfect order from total randomness. It organizes light waves using nothing more than an angle. It's pretty amazing. And honestly, this is the real takeaway. The next time you put on a pair of polarized sunglasses, you're not just blocking the sun. You're actually taking part in this little dance with physics. You'll start noticing the glare just vanishing from car windows, from puddles on the street, from the surface of a pond. You'll start seeing the world through the lens of Brewster's Law. So, I'll leave you with that thought. You're now in on the secret to defeating glare. The next time you're outside, look for it. Pay attention to how reflections change as you move your head and change your viewing angle. Think about that organized light all around you. Where are you going to spot Brewster's Law in action next? Thanks so much for tuning in.